What's up, guys? I'm Craig Langley, and welcome back to Weird Screen Tales. Today I want to talk about Silent Hill, the original film from 2006. Quite possibly the best video game movie I ever saw. The last video I discussed Return to Silent Hill, which is undoubtedly the worst, as the title said, and I stand by that. And it was odd saying that because the films were directed by the same person, Christof Ganz. Now, with this film, he killed it. He absolutely killed it. So it doesn't follow the script, the game exactly. The script doesn't, but that's okay because it's so good. It incorporates a lot of elements while being its own thing. Now, the original game, if you don't know, came out in 99, I believe. I could be wrong. 98, 99, I believe 99. And it's follow a guy named Harry and his daughter as they're driving down the road, and this little girl runs in front of the car, and they crash, and Harry's knocked out. And when he comes to, his daughter's missing, and he thinks he sees her in the nearby town, the snowy filled town, and he has to find her, and he gets involved with monsters and this kind of thing. The script kind of holds to that in a sense, but instead of a man, it's a woman played by Rhoda Mitchell, who does a fantastic job as this mother, and the little girl's named Melissa. But Melissa's got a weird, dark past, as shown by the phenomenal opening sequence where you see her dreaming, sleepwalking, and now the mother finds her on the outside and finds her, and she wakes up and she's talking about this place, Silent Hill, and the camera goes down into this cavern into the earth, and you see this ghost like Alyssa down in these flames like in hell, and just draws you right in. So Alyssa, as shown by the thing, is having these dreams about this town, and so the mother goes to investigate it, and her husband, Sean Bean, is against it. And when they get to the town, again, mother crashes the car, wakes up, daughter's gone, so she has to find her. So it keeps that element in. But there's where it differs. You have the cop, Sybil, played by Lauren Holden, who's fantastic in the role, and they have to find her. What the movie does from this point forward, it just builds and builds and builds the atmosphere. That creepy, gothic, like I said in the last one, industrial racer head on steroids build. And that creates a tension that keeps going on through the whole film that makes it so watchable. And the cast going through it couldn't act better. Rhoda Mitchell and Lauren Holden play phenomenal. Their scares, you feel their tension, their horror. And as they go through this town looking for the girl, they run into these people. They're in the town. They're the only survivors in this wrecked town. And they're part of this like cult that's afraid. And Alyssa plays into this. The daughter plays into this somehow. While at the same time, Sean Bean is following her. And spoiler alert, he goes to the town with a cop looking for her. And the town's fine. It's abandoned. There was a coal fire underground, and it's just fine. And that element plays throughout it. Now, that's my one critique of it, because sometimes I'm so involved in what they call the dark world in this universe that I don't want to go back to Sean Bean. It distracts me. Now, the director, Christof Ganz, put this to an absurd stance in the next film, Return to Silent Hill, where he just kills any tension in the film. Because every time any tension starts building, he pulls back to showing Silent Hill in this town completely normal. And back in the old days when the characters in it are remembering it was a good town. But anyway, I already ranted about that movie. So they're going through the town and they meet this cult creatures that are like talking about witches and stuff like this. And that's when it explodes in terms of the gothic feel. The scene where the iconic character Pyramid Head is introduced could not have been done better. You hear this siren going, they're like, oh, we have to go, the darkness is going. And their locals that are part of this cult get scared and they run into the shit, and it just builds the tension until he's introduced. And a bloody end for one of the characters. And as they go through the town, it reveals that the cult sacrificed Alyssa, and Alyssa survived. Spoiler. Alyssa survived. And all the creatures, all the monsters that are in town are the manifestation of her anger towards the town and all this. Her hatred. And that's the genius of this movie. It takes elements of the game and makes it its own, unlike the second movie. And all the elements build up. The music just builds and builds and builds the tension up. It works perfectly with it. The acting, couldn't be better. Everybody fears attention. Everybody is afraid. You feel their emotions. The little girl, ghost girl Alyssa, who is just creepy throughout the entire thing. You feel her presence. And when she's around, you're just terrified on screen. You feel like, ugh, right? It works perfectly for that. The costumes, the setting. I mean, unlike the newest film, the town of Silent Hill feels real. You feel the snow. You feel the grime. You feel the just abandonedness of this town destroyed by this fire burning like Centralia, Pennsylvania, famously underneath the ground. Everything feels real in this movie. Even the CGI works. That's another discussion we have, how bad CGI is going. Like, it feels real. The monsters are great. Again, pulling from the game, most of them. And the like I said, the most important thing is the script, and it just goes. Everything fits perfectly into each other. I know a lot of critics back in the day made fun of the pacing. They criticize it, and I can see that with the pulling back out into the real world, which in essence, do it once, and you're like, okay, we get it. He's not seeing the world. You don't have to constantly go back to it, which is the one negative I have in this movie, the constant going back. The costumes look great. I mean, there's a scene where where right before they go down, where they're in the hospital, and the main character, played by Roddy Mitchell, is about to confront what happened to Alyssa, and you just got these characters in like these hazmat suits, and everything just feels perfect. So this movie is a must-see. I haven't given away the ending, but the bloody finale is phenomenal. Like, you expect this kind of extreme gore, and it just works perfectly for the movie. Again, why do I consider this the greatest video game movie of all time? The script works, the acting's good, the music, the sets, just the look and the feel. Again, film is a visual medium, and this film is just so visually fantastic. It's David Lynch, and it's sadomasochistic nightmare if he went to a BDSM club with Clive Barker would come up with this kind of town. It's just so enthralling in an imaginative sense. You wouldn't really want to be there. So check it out. I mean, like I said, it's the greatest video game movie of all time. I know some people will deny that, but check it out. If you've seen the new one and see how bad it is, don't let that scare you. And in Revelations, which I'll talk about tomorrow, which is not as good, this is the best. See this movie. You will not regret it. And remember, he who controls the imagination controls the world. I'll see you next time.